Alright, what's going on, guys? It's GSR here. So basically I wanted to talk to you guys today about Kung Lao and why I think they need to give Kung Lao a major and a fat ass buff. Kotal Khan needs a fat ass buff. Technically Johnny Cage, he don't need a buff, he just need to be fixed. Certain crushing blows do not work for Johnny Cage, like his fucking bullshit ass parry. I honestly believe he should have a crushing blow on his throat and he should replace that with his nut punch. He has gimmicky ass pressure. He still has major whiffing issues on all the female characters in the game, and not only that, the character is literally whiffing in general with his mid projectiles, and then on certain guy characters and all of his variations he's still whiffing his projectiles. So they need to do some serious fucking work, like on some real shit. And Kung Lao needs major work. Just unbelievably unsafe. This character is unbelievably unsafe. Like he's just not safe at all. Like his character you'll get fucked up against the right opponent that knows about this matchup. Like this character is so unsafe, bro. It's not even fucking funny. But with that being said, let's get started. Alright guys, so the first one I want to talk about is pretty much this nigga's dive kick, right? So I want to talk about this real quick, right? So if Kung Lao was to hit you, he can hit you like this, right? But if you take it upon yourself to be really quick about it, look at that. His dive kick doesn't even come out. And keep in mind, I'm literally amplifying it. Like look, I'm mashing that bitch. Watch. Like, you see that shit? It's not even coming out. So if you're doing it unbelievably fast like that, like there's no way in the fuck, like there's literally no way in the fuck you're gonna be able to amplify that and get a crushing blow out of that if you have the crushing blow charged up. So this is strike one, right? And they need to fix that bullshit, right? That's strike one. Alright, strike two. This nigga's bullshit ass teleport, right? So let me explain to you guys about Kung Lao's teleport. Back in MKX, he was able to use his teleport to do certain setups. Even with his buzzsaw variation back in MKX, he could use his buzzsaw and then he can immediately teleport and get really good setups and stuff like that onto you. And it was kind of like constant pressure against that character. It was kind of overwhelming to the point where it was like, this nigga is all over the fucking place. But compared to MKX in this game, he has been toned down dramatically. Like, they have shitted on this character, literally wiped the ass with this character and still put him in the game and say, here's Kung Lao. Like, that's pretty much what they did with this character. There's literally no excuse for this whatsoever. So I'm gonna talk about this nigga's teleport, right? Now, his throw, right, says 18 frames on hit advantage, right? But watch this. This nigga is 19 frames. He's plus 19 on hit, right? Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this, right, is that he has a crushing blow requirement right here where it says triggers if opponent was just hit with Shaolin Slam. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to be able to teleport, set up something differently to where you could delay it, catch their ass off guard, you know, kind of like mislead their timing and shit like that. So I want you guys to watch this, right? So I hit Liu Kang with this, right? And if I think that this nigga's gonna neutral crouch because he's trying to watch out from my throw, he thinks I'm gonna throw him again, right? This is what's gonna happen. And then the hit advantage is 20 frames, right? Which is really good. And he's technically close to me, to where I can dash up a little bit, do this to continue pressure afterwards, possibly, and then I could possibly whiff punish his ass, you know what I'm saying? And then I have my options from there. So I want you guys to pay close attention to this bullshit. This nigga can't even set up his hat, bro. He can't even set this up, bro. The strongest thing about Kung Lao would have to be his dive kick and his fucking teleport. And that's really sad that I just said that, right? And what's funny is I'm using the variation that says orbiting hat. This nigga is -4 in block, -4 in block, and then he can use his hat, you know, to pretty much get in, start up some type of pressure, whatever the case may be. And if he has the hat rotating around him and shit like that, right? He can get in like this, you know what I'm saying, possibly, or You know, he can get in like, let me see if I can get this real quick. He can get in like this and then continue pressure afterwards, right? In order just to get in, because he's protected, and then he's going to be insanely plus on block. So that's decent in itself, right? Even though it didn't even tell me how plus he was on block advantage. But anyway, I digress. So to further explain this, right? Why the fuck is this nigga -4 on block? If he uses a defensive bar and an offensive bar, this nigga should be +5 or +6 on block when he does this. Okay, at least +5. All right, at least +5. There's no reason for this character to be -4 on block. Then when he amplifies this shit to the fullest potential, I think he should be able to put you in a frame trap if he wastes all his bars a meter. The fact that this character can't necessarily get any kind of pressure, and it's not like it's going to be super overpowered, because he has to keep in mind you can only technically use this once in certain situations. All right, so my number 3 issue is the fact that this character is literally minus on so much shit, to the point where if he does a really -1, he can get punished. If he does like a -5 situation or a -7 or a -8 situation, he has no choice but to block. He does not necessarily get any kind of pressure. The only good thing about this character is his fucking dive kick and then his fucking teleport. And that's really depressing coming from me, because it's like, that's really fucked up. Kung Lao is one of my favorite characters of all time. So is Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, and I have other characters like Havoc and Raiko that I love a lot. And the thing about this is that Kung Lao has always been a strong character, and for some reason in this game they thought it was a good idea to tone this character down dramatically to where he can't even necessarily get actual pressure going onto the opponent. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to tell you guys what I would do to make Kung Lao better with his fucking strings. So his 1-2 string is pretty self-explanatory. He's -5. What I would do is I would put this on 0. There are so many characters in this game that have a 0 frame combo string, like Johnny Cage's 1-2, right? To where this character literally goes back to the neutral and he's completely safe, and nobody has the advantage over one another. And that's exactly what I would do to this, to where he can get some type of offense going. Not only that, when it comes to this string right here, I personally think that the second hit should have a flawless bot gap in it. And not only should it have a flawless bot gap in it, but also the second hit should be a fucking overhead, and you should leave Kung Lao -7 on block. You understand what I'm saying? Or at least -8. Right? And you know, he has access to a stagger. He can hit you with an overhead, and then he can do this like this, and he can pretty much fuck with you like that. You see how quick that shit was? And then, you know, he can get his offense going with that, right? But in general, I would just leave the niggas -7 on block, to where he has no choice but to block. But you would have to block a stagger. You would have to block a 50-50 to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what I would actually do with this string. Other than that, this string is perfectly fine, right? So let's talk about this string right here, because this shit is about to get real, because this is just bogus, right? So we already know about his stagger string. This is his best stagger string technically. So instead of this nigga being -19 and him having multiple flawless block gaps right there, what I would actually do is I would make this nigga -7 on block. And that's exactly what I would do with this, because I don't think it's fair that this character literally has all these flawless block gaps and this character is super minus on block. And what I would do is I would make this nigga -7 or possibly -8, to where he's technically safe. He can technically move out of the way and stuff like that. And Liu Kang is literally out of the range of his throw range, him hitting him with a down 4, so he would have to go with a far-reaching special move of his choosing in order to reach this nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Because this game is supposed to be based around footings and spacing, and that's not the case. This game is literally MKX remastered to the fullest potential. So why not buff up my nigga Kung Lao and let's see what's popping with him, right? So I would make him -7 on this, and then this full string where it's a high, because you can neutral crouch that and get a crushing blow or get a full combo punish on Kung Lao, or just get the hit advantage with your down 4 or something. But why do that when you can just cash that on damage and set up something, whatever type of character that you're actually using? So what I would do with this, right, is that since this is a high, right, and keep in mind this right here will have no more flawless block gap in it, and he would be -7 on block. So when he commits into the 4-1, he would be +3 on block, but there will be a flawless block gap in it, and his move would stay as a high, to where you could punish him and do all this extra shit. So he's taking a gamble whether or not he's going to be +3 on block, or whether or not you're going to punish him, right? And that's exactly what I would do with this string, right? So let's talk about this string. So he has major whiffing issues with this string. If I put Liu Kang, let's see here. If I put Liu Kang like this, right? Watch this. So keep in mind, this hit, but the rest of the hits did not hit. How the fuck does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense, bro. So what I would do with this, right, is that I would take it upon myself to make him whiff this, but the rest of these would actually hit, and he would be +1 on block. Now, keep in mind, he has another part of the string where he does this. There's no real reason to, there's no real reason to do this exactly, not unless you just feel like being -7 on block, which is dumb. Not unless they change it to something to where like this nigga is like, instead of him being +1, he's like +2 or +3 on block or something, to where he gets ongoing pressure or something. But then again, people will be like, oh, you're making him too overpowered and shit like that. Nigga, you talk about overpowered, do you really want to go there with me? Let's talk about Gearus' bitch ass. Let's talk about other characters. Kung Lao needs this shit. But what I would do is that I would make him whiff this, but then the rest of these would actually hit and he would be +1, because there's no real reason to literally go for this string. And that's exactly what I would do for this, right? When it comes to this string right here, I don't really see a point in using that string. I don't really see what the idea is for that string. But you know what? What I would actually do with this is that this move, the last hit has a flawless block gap in it, right? So this move right here doesn't. So what I would do is, right, this move would whiff, but the rest would hit. And this, instead of him being -2, I would literally have him be +2 on block, right? And he has to push back to where he's completely safe. But then again, I could leave him -2 on block to where there would be a flawless block gap, because he gets the pushback and he's completely safe. It's technically up to you to pretty much prevent him from doing this, because he has the pushback. Like, this nigga has the pushback to where he's safe. So I don't think I would mess with this string. I think this is fine. The only thing that I would do is I would allow this to whiff, but the rest of this is not whiffing. Like, the rest of this shit, that's not whiffing, right? So let's talk about the last bit of his strings, right? There's no real reason to use this string right here. I don't really see a point. There's no flawless block gap. He is safe, but I don't really see a point in using this. Now, he gets pushed back to where he can pretty much whiff punish you and shit like that, and he's -4, so he's completely safe. So I don't really have a problem with that string to a certain degree. So let's talk about this string. The nigga's -9. First of all, his forward 2 should be 12 frames instead of 15 frames on startup. That's just my opinion. Not only that, this nigga should be -6 on block instead of -9, and he should literally be -7 on block instead of -13. When he commits into the full string, right, because there is a little bit of pushback, he should stay -13 on block. And that's exactly what I would do with this string, because there will be certain moves that you can punish, but the problem is you can't get this crushing blowout because the startup time is 15 fucking frames. 15 frames, are you kidding me? So that's exactly what I would do with this string. And then when it comes to this string right here, this string is perfectly fine the way that it is. The only thing that I would actually change about this is that this, if he's going to be -8 on block, you should literally have this start up at like what? I don't know, because I want to make it fair to where he's not overpowered. So I would make this 12 frames, 12 or 13 frames, literally. Because he's safe, like he's literally safe, like -7, -8. Then if he tries to commit into the full one, guess what? That's when you can flawless block this nigga and get a punish. And that's exactly what I would do with Kung Lao's strings. Overall, this is all I really had to say regarding this particular situation, because I had a lot of friends of mine, they want me to watch Perfect Legends video where he ranted about Kung Lao like a month ago or some shit like that, and they really did shit on Kung Lao, and I agree with Perfect Legends. They shitted on Kung Lao. Kung Lao has been toned down dramatically. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to do this to Kung Lao, but this is exactly what I would do with Kung Lao's strings. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I would do with Kung Lao's strings. This is what I would do with him just in general, just to make him a lot better. And I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of Kung Lao players just randomly coming out of nowhere if they buff him the way that I buffed him like this, or if they buff him and make him a lot better than what he originally is. You know what I mean? Because there's no excuse for this. Then when he does this then when he does the dive kick, right, super fucking quick, right, That shit don't even come out, and I showed you guys that. That shit does not fucking come out, and that's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. The fact that this character's super minus on block is bullshit. And then when it comes to Kotal Khan, I might make a video talking about his ass. Now, I had a subscriber of mine, they wanted me to talk about Centurion and why she's a bullshit-ass character. It's pretty self-explanatory. She's the best zoner in the game. She's really annoying. She has a bullshit-ass teleport. She has a 50-50, which is completely dumb. You know, just, the character's just bullshit. Okay, that's just what it is. Right, but I did show you guys a video of one of her strings to where you can actually punish her and shit like that and do certain shit depending on what character you actually have. But overall, this is all I really had to say about Kung Lao. They need to buff this nigga up. Simple plain as that. Kung Lao needs a fat ass buff because right now he's trash. The only way you could do really good is if you know the matchups with that character that you're going against. So that way you have a better time of beating the opponent. The fact that this nigga is minus 19 is stupid as fuck. It's stupid. You have characters like Aaron Black where he has a multi-hitting string that leaves him -7 on block and he has crazy amounts of pushback. But Kung Lao, when he gets pushback, it's okay for this nigga to be -19 to where he can get punished. I can hit this nigga with a far-reaching normal. Not with Liu Kang, but I can hit him with a far-reaching normal depending on what character I have. Johnny Cage could punish this nigga from this range because he's in the correct range to get punished. So there's no excuse for this whatsoever. Buff the fucking character, man. This is bullshit. Like, this is bullshit. Like, they literally shitted on this fucking character. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.